Hey, Jimmy.
How are you, buddy?
All right, good to see you again.
Welcome back.
Always good to be in the shop with you. So we reached out to the fans and we asked them, what do you want Jimmy to build? And outdoor furniture was sort of the top category on the list.
Right on. Well, what we have here is a prototype of an Adirondack-style inspired chair.
Yeah, well, I can see that sort of distinctive angle to it. You can definitely relax in that thing.
Yep.
Materials?
This painted black wood represents 2 by 2 inch steel tubing with a 16 gauge wall, and we'll make up the steel frame. We're going to weld it all together. We're going to make an area to accept the wood, and this is all going to be oak, rough cut oak planks.
So something that's going to stand up to the weather.
Yes, it'll last for quite a long time. As long as you keep it painted and maintenance it, it'll be fine.
I love the little prototype. Looks like you thought it through. We ready to build?
Let's go.
All right.
Right on. We'll start by measuring and cutting the steel for the frame. I'm using an angle grinder, but you could also cut the same metal with a bandsaw or a chop saw with a metal cutting blade.
And freehanding it with the grinder is accurate enough?
Yeah, the welder's going to fill in any gaps. Take a look at that.
So this one is what? This one goes here?
Yep, that's our front leg.
All right.
And I'll explain what I did here. You see how I cut that notch? When we weld this together, that flap is going to close our end.
Okay.
This is our seat and our back leg, one long straight line.
So if we look at the prototype, you're going for, so we're going to call this the front leg.
That's right.
Back leg, which is this long one.
Yep.
And then you've got that guy at an angle.
Well, we have it at an angle in the prototype. I cut it straight just to make it simple while we were just cutting the metal. Now I want to try and decide what angle I do want.
All right, what are you thinking?
We only need about 5 degrees back to make a comfortable chair, and that's somewhere in about this area. And every time I've made a chair, just kind of a gut feeling for me, and so far it's always worked out.
Beautiful.
I'm going to tack the frame in place just so everything is in the right position. Then I can go back and weld everything together.
So what is the actual process? What are you doing? I mean, I can imagine with wood, I know that I'm gluing 2 similar surfaces. You got something different going on.
Well, what's happening is the wire comes out of the end of the gun and it causes an electrical short circuit, and it creates over 2,000 degrees, and all that metal starts to swirl together. So it's a controlled short circuit of electricity.
And so are you melting the tubular steel as well as the wire?
Absolutely. All 3 parts weld. The 2 surfaces that are touching and that wire that's feeding that weld.
And so you go from super hot to melted metal to something that is as strong as steel within minutes?
Yeah. In my world, when I cut and grind and weld things together, there's an acceptable allowance of error, because I know I could make it up later on by either filling it in with weld or cutting more metal and just filling in that spot with more metal. And for the arms, I'm going to use 2 by 4 steel, just to make them a little bit wider. On the prototype, they look parallel, but to make the arms more comfortable, I'm going to put them more closer to level. And we're going to weld them in right at the arms.
Love the frame, Jimmy. That looks good.
Thank you very much. That went together nice.
It did. And so what are we working with here?
What we have here is rough cut white oak,
Yep.
1 by 6 from the sawmill just down the street.
And so obviously for the base and the back on the infill,
That's right.
That's where the wood goes.
And we're going to use these 1/8 inch by 2 inch strips. They're going to be welded in place like that. We're going to drill holes in it, and it's going to support these.
Okay, you want me to prep this?
Yeah, what I need for you to do is cut and sand, is that all right?
Yeah.
Cut and sand Could you make 3 pieces at 27 and 7/8?
Yep.
And then 3 more at 18.
Got it.
And that should be good.
All right.
Since it's going to be outside, we want to use an outdoor varnish. I have this boat varnish, which leaves a nice finish, a nice satin finish. It's intended to live outside, so it's a little UV resistant, a little bit weather resistant, but in time, everything needs to be maintained. I mean, if this sits outside for 10 years, you're going to need to paint it again.
Pops right away. You can see all the saw marks that we left.
They're pretty, right?
Yeah, it looks good.
Let's just make sure we get all 6 sides of the board, the open end grain and the short sides. Weather gets everywhere.
Would you ever spray something like this?
I could, yeah. We've got spray cans just in case, but this lays on a much heavier coat.
Yeah. I was thinking more of like an airless.
Oh yeah, you could do that too, sure. How do you like the contrast? I think it looks great.
I do. I like it. You know, the metal, smooth. You got that high gloss, and then you knock it right down. Not just with the wood, but with the exposed saw marks.
Yep.
Contrast is the word. So what are we using for screws to attach the wood to the frame?
We have all our holes already drilled. We're going to use these galvanized screws.
Beautiful.
Little shorties, 3/4 inch. I'm just screwing them in place so that if you ever wanted to maintenance the chair, repaint it, replace the wood, just take the screws out, paint it, put it right back. Okay, one last finishing touch. We're going to plug up the ends of these armrests. I'm going to use the same kind of wood. I'm going to tap that in place.
Nice little finishing detail.
Yeah, first I'm going to put a little bit of glue in there. I think that's just going to stop it from going in any further once it dries.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay,
We're about there.
there you go.
All right, let's have a look at that. So I am digging the sharp lines and the high gloss of the metal contrasted with that natural wood, especially those saw marks. That's nice.
I'm really digging it.
The lines look good, and most importantly, that is so good.
Looks good on you.
Yeah, man, you did it again.
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, let's do it
Appreciate
again.
it. Thanks, brother.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.